tonight, one of the things I was asked to talk about is sort of Googling. And so I just kind of made up a little list of things that I thought might help us to get around in our Googling. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is Google Alerts. Google Alerts is free. And what you can do, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that is not necessarily, on Family Search or on Ancestry. So we kind of have to be aware of other stuff that's kind of floating around that might be interesting to us or that might be applicable to our family history search. So if you can see my text document, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it tells you, some of the uses that you can do for these Google alerts, monitoring a developing news story. Sometimes there's news about genealogy. I follow a lot of DNA stuff that I find really interesting. And so that's one thing that might be interesting especially if you're following a DNA result. In fact, I was just watching a television program earlier today. They had found the remains of a general in the Civil War, and they were trying to figure out exactly who this general was, and they were using DNA to do it. And it was just fascinating the way that they were able to figure out exactly who this person was from the Civil War. And also, if there's like news that you want to hear about your computer or other issues like this, you were talking a few minutes ago about the AI, about how you were using it. Is that Jim? You were using it for your family history?
I'm trying to write my life story.
Okay.
And
Well, have you been hearing all these? Have you been hearing all these negative stories about the AI?
Nope.
No. Well, the company who developed AI chat has been asked by Elon Musk to please pause their development of AI for about 6 months. And they have serious concerns about it because it's so good. And so you can practically rewrite history, you can rewrite history books, you can rewrite videos, redo videos so that they look different than the way that they were actually recorded. So you might be interested in following some AI stories online.
Okay.
And also there's all kinds of things. So you can see here where it says www.google.com alerts. So you can put in there, you can go to that. I don't know if I can do it here. Let's see. There. Can you see that screen?
Uh-huh.
You can see the alert screen?
Yes.
No.
I can't.
So what do you go there and tell it what you're interested in?
Yes, if I can find it. Here we go. There it is. So you just want to create an alert. I'm interested in Harlow genealogy. So, and then I can create an alert. They'll tell you if there were ever any previously, and I don't see any. So you can see that there's none previously, but there might be some sometime. So they'll send you an alert, and you have to set this up with your Google account. So most of you will have a Google account because you pretty much have to have that if you have if you're on the internet anyway. So you have to have that. So that might be something that you would be that would be helpful to you, because again, it's free, and you don't have to purchase it. All right. So then, how many of you are familiar with Google Books?
Let me ask, real quick. How do you find this on Google?
It's google.com/alerts.
Oh yeah, I see it there now.
Okay. How many of you used Google Books?
Mm-mm.
No.
Google Books is amazing. One thing, I haven't found a lot of books on there that are completely ready for preview. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. All right, there we are. And so it's just books.google.com. And you can look up and see what books are possibly in print about a surname or maybe a county that you're interested in or whatever. So I'm going to look at Harlow genealogy. And so you can also there it's going to pull up some books about Harlow's that might be interesting. These Harlows, I happen to know these Harlows, Cummington Harlows, are Harlows that are out of Massachusetts. That is not my line, so I'm not particularly interested in them. But what is so interesting about this is that you can shape your search as you look at this. So here we have 3 results. Learn more. I'm just going to try to find it. Just a minute. I'm sorry. You can go to the advanced screen if I could find it. Here's one, a genealogy of the Harlow family. So you can see on this screen that you can get the book. Some books are able to be previewed. In other words, some books are already on the internet, free to download. And so you might come across one of your genealogy that is there. But other books which might not be there, first of all, it will give you information about it, and then it will tell you where you can buy it. So if you care to buy it, you can buy it on Amazon or Abe Books. And also it might tell you where you can borrow it, the availability at libraries near you. So we live here. Let's see if it brings up any. Well, it's just not going to show any libraries near me. But if you had
What's the zip code for Fort Worth downtown?
I don't know.
They got
What
a
is it?
big genealogy library.
Right. But and that's great. Of course, if you can find it in your local, like if local to you, genealogy library. But let's say you were next week you were going to take a trip to Dallas, and you they had it will pull up that book in any place that you really want. In fact, let me see if I can find a better one that will do. Some of them have a no image available. You can see it doesn't show. But here's a book about Harlow Dunham. That's not my line, but they're as you can see over here, it's preview unavailable, but some of them will have previews available. And let's go on down and look and see if it's available anyplace. So you can see that this might be helpful to you if you can find a book and it's for sale and you want to purchase it, or if you can find it locally, you can find that. You know, it might over at Grapevine, they have a really good library. So let's say that book was over at Grapevine. You might be willing to take a trip over to Grapevine to see the full book or to copy some of it or something. So it will pull that up where you can find that book. And some, you know, not all of these books are going to be in genealogy collections. They're just, some of them will be in research collections, reference books. So you can see that they're there. Anyway, I really like this Google Books thing, and I've used it. And I, for some reason, can't find one to pull up to show you, but I have used it, and it's really great because you want to get a view of what the book consists of and where you can find this book, because there's lots of books that are out of print. And so if it's somewhere locally and you can go and look at it, how wonderful would that be to be able to go and look at this book? I want to try one more.
And do you have to have the exact name of the book?
No. See, I just now searched for Harlow genealogy. And here is an example of something that includes Harlow genealogy. It's the Encyclopedia of American Quaker Genealogy. So apparently my Harlow name is in that. And there he is. His name was Harlow Lindley. So it's not a surname, but still, it would if there were a Harlow in there, it would pull it up, and you would be able to go and see where this book is located. You can purchase it, or you can go and find it. Check the availability. So let's see if it'll work for us. I don't see it, but I promise you it'll work. So you can eventually learn how to do that and find books on Google Books. I love Google Books. I've done this many times. All right. Are you all backing up your genealogy? Are you all using some sort of backup? Where do you put all your documents, or even if you have a secondary genealogy program? Do any of you use a genealogy program other than the church?
Yeah,
Just say yes.
No.
yes,
Okay, so no one is using a genealogy program. Okay,
yes.
that's
I'm
okay.
using the old PAF program, and I'm using the church's family
Well,
search.
why are you using the old path?
Because I like it when I print out my family group sheets, it does it in the order I want.
Have you
It
tried
puts,
have you tried
I like
ancestral?
it because I have all my books lined up, like one notebook would say 1 to 49, 50 to 100. And then each time it prints out my family group sheet, it puts the family ID number. So I use that along with my pedigree chart to figure out where the sheets are that I need to see. Family search won't do that.
No, but Ancestral Quest was written by the same guy who wrote Path.
I used to have that program years and years
Ancestral
ago.
Quest?
Yeah.
Why did you decide not to use it?
If it's to me, it looked just like the church's program. If it's
It
the
looks
one I'm
just like
thinking
Path.
of.
That's right. But
And-
the good thing about Ancestral Quest is that you can sync your records with Family Search.
Yeah, because the church quit supporting the other one.
No, yes, they
The
quit
reason,
supporting Path,
the
but they
reason I
don't.
quit using it
Uh-huh.
is because working in the Family History Center, everybody would come in and say, "How do you do this on PAF?" So I thought, well, I
Yeah.
better learn how to use PAF.
Well,
So I
you should
switched.
encourage people to migrate to a program such as Ancestral Quest or Legacy or Roots Magic, because if they're using a program already, those three programs will sync with Family Search, and it's much easier and it's just way cool to be able to be in your Ancestral Quest or the Path like program, and you click on that person and it will take you automatically to where they are in Family Search. So it's very beneficial if you do a lot of genealogy in particular, and if you do a lot of genealogy that you save a lot of living people. If you do a lot of descendant lines where you're working with living people, you probably ought to have a family history program of some kind, one of those three that sync with Family Search. So that's what I wanted to mention is how are you backing up? Like Mary, if you have a document that you think is really important, what do you do with it?
Put it on
Okay.
iCloud.
Okay, so you are backing it up. I was just going to mention that. Okay, so iCloud is really, it's Google Drive, right? Is that Google Drive?
No, it's an Apple
Oh, it's the Apple Drive.
Apple
Okay, great.
version. Yeah.
So you are backing up your information. That's really good. So I wanted to just at least talk about that, because that is a very important thing to do. Because do you have have you ever had an electrical device in your home that didn't work?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so every device is going to fail eventually, even your computer. So it's really great to be able to back those things up. I use Dropbox for a lot of my really important documents. Dropbox is free, and you install it on your laptop or your desktop. You can even put it on your phone, I think. But Dropbox is free, and also so you can get those documents or that backup, whatever it is, anywhere you go. So let's say you decide to go to another person's house, or you're traveling, you can carry that with you, and you don't have to have your laptop with you. You carry the program is online. So it's really great. The backup is online all the time. And you know that if your house burns down, your data is still going to be there. So I use Dropbox. Yes.
I use the little Passport portable drives. I have 3 of them, and I back everything up on my computer on all 3 of them, just to make sure one of them doesn't fail.
I'm not sure what that is. Is that a hard drive?
Yeah, they're little small, they're SSD drives.
Okay, but if you have a fire and they all three go, what are you gonna do?
They're all in different places.
You mean not at your house? You have them at different
Different
individuals?
places, yes.
Okay, that's
And
good.
and I got leery because when I first started doing computers, uh, different programs I would have, you got to use their cloud. And after a year or two, they'd say, our cloud is going away. You need to put your data somewhere else. And after doing that twice, I decided I'm just going to back my own stuff up. And it's just like I probably have 15,000 or more photographs on my computer, but I also put those on DVD drives and send them to all my kids. So I've got all my kids have all my photographs.
That's
So
great. I mean,
I don't want
that's what,
anything just in my house alone.
and that's what we want. So that's a good alternative, but it's a lot of work. So I put anyway, so that's why I use Dropbox, because it's on the cloud and it's always going to be there, but it's free. Now there another thing is you can purchase a backup program that will sync your computer or laptop on a regular basis, and you don't have to sync it. It just does it a certain time, or anytime you change a file, it will back up for you. And I use Backblaze, and I'm really
What's
happy.
it called?
Backblaze. It costs about $5 a month. When I told my son-in-law, who is a computer whiz, a genius, he works for an IT company. He used to work for ExxonMobil. When I told him I was purchasing this, he kind of laughed at me, and he said, "Why are you doing that?" Well, because it's like insurance. I mean, you purchase insurance, health insurance, house insurance, fire insurance, all those kinds of insurances, hoping
Yeah.
that you'll never need them or use them, but they're there if you do. And so that's what I do, and along with Dropbox. Then there's what Mary was kind of talking about. I put all my photos on Google Photo. So if you can, that's free too, Google Photos. So you should be backing up anything that you don't, if there's something you have and you don't want to lose it, you should be backing it up. You can't go on in life and not back it up, really. Okay,
Mhm.
so I wanted to talk about eBay. How many of you use eBay for genealogy?
Really?
Um,
Yeah.
Now, of course, you're not going to find extensive, the same things that you're going to find on Family Search or Ancestry. We're talking about objects or even books. And I have searched for books on eBay and put notices on on alert on eBay, and was able to purchase a book about family history, about my family history on eBay. So family history on eBay, you can search for old family photos, Bibles, old published, or not even old, but published genealogies, books that mention your genealogy, family heirlooms. Sometimes people will put what I consider to be irreplaceable family items, and I'll see them. And it's amazing to me that somebody would sell something like that for a small amount of money. Sometimes there's old letters. There are church histories occasionally. If your family was not members of the LDS church, but perhaps an Catholic church or Lutheran or even Baptist church, there are many Baptist churches where my family came from that have records, and they're very interesting to have and to look at and find your family names there. So you can find some of these family records on eBay, and also city directories. Have you seen those city directory books that you can look at in the libraries, usually old copies of those? Well, sometimes those are for sale on eBay, and if you use them a lot for a particular area or county or a city or whatever, then it might be worth your while to purchase that and have them there at your house. So yeah, I would recommend that you go to eBay and put a search in for a surname, or a town genealogy, or a county genealogy, or even a state genealogy. The state may be too wide a search, but you could certainly do counties or surnames, and set up an alert on eBay. Do all of you know how to do that? Have you ever set up an alert on eBay?
Never used eBay.
No.
No, well, go to eBay and you can type in a search and then it'll ask you if you want to save that search and just say yes. And then if anything ever comes in, it will alert you and you can look at it that way. And you won't have to sit and go look at it every other day and see if something came in. It will let you know. It will set an alert. And I've done this. And I got a real nice little book about Greene County. I purchased it. It was only like $12 and it was really worth it. Also, so I wanted to talk about something I already talked about a few months ago, but let's talk about file conversion. First of all, do you ever want to have your photos restored? Do you like to do that?
I do.
You do it. I know you
Yeah.
do it on your your Adobe. You have Adobe or something.
Yes.
Photoshop. You use Photoshop, Bob?
Adobe
Uh-huh.
Photo Elements. Yeah, Photoshop Elements.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you ever use MyHeritage?
Oh, yeah. I went out to try to colorize photographs,
Mm-hmm.
but I did not like the quality.
Well, I use a Picture It, which is a genealogy. It is a program also similar to Photoshop. So
Uh-huh.
I will take a photo and run it through MyHeritage and then put it back in my Picture It program and tweak it a little bit more. But for people who don't have Photoshop or even a Picture It like I have, that MyHeritage is awesome. You can take a picture and upload it into MyHeritage. Now, MyHeritage is a pay site, so you have to subscribe to it, and I think it costs like $16. I don't know. I think that's a month even. But if you're a member of the church, you can go to the place on Family Search that has partner sites and look and find the partner site, just like you did with Ancestry. Do all of you use Ancestry on Family Search?
Yes.
Well, you can also set that up with MyHeritage and get a free membership to MyHeritage. And then you can log on to MyHeritage and put your photos in there and it will restore your photos, including black and white photos. It just does really a great job to do that. I really love photos that are photoshopped. I think they look fabulous because to me, they not only just bring out the details of a person, but they make that photo looks so new and live and relatable. I just can relate to people better in color, I guess, than the black and white ones. So you can use that. There are also photo restoration sites on Facebook. Let's see if I can go there. Let's see.
One of the things I get discouraged with some of my family members when they'll post a photograph and I'll say, oh, I don't have a photo. I've never seen that photograph for one of my ancestors. And I'll download it and it'll be such low resolution that when you try to blow it up, it's all pixelized.
Well,
And
that's true that you're always going to have that problem. You know, there's
what I
always going to
do
be
is
that.
if I have old photographs from late 1800s, early 19, I scan them at $1,200 per inch. And I know
Yes,
that's a big file, but I can crop them and do things with them. But all my other photographs are usually $600.
Sure, you can rescan them and sometimes they'll improve if you send after you rescan them and increase the DPIs, then you can put them back through and say here at MyHeritage and they will improve. Also on Facebook, I use let's see, a photo restoration site. So you can see it shows you a picture right here of how they can restore these pictures. They took their scratches, and they're blurry, and they restored them and made them look better. And so there's people on here who have really amazing programs. Perhaps Bob has like a Photoshop or something, and they'll do this for you free. So you can go to this website. It's a Facebook page, and just people will send in their photos. Here's this guy who's sent in this photo and he's asking for someone to please help him with that. Let's see if I can find another one that's really been done already. Oh, there you go. Look how that's really improved. Okay, it's just
Yeah,
a
that
dog, I know, but think if it was your ancestor, how much better it would look. So this person helped this, whoever turned this picture in was able to crop it down and get a great picture of their animal. Now
Wow, that's
so if you
nice.
think about how it might work on your old black and white photo from a reunion or something, you can see that it's really amazing. And look
Oh
at this
my.
photo, and it's obviously very damaged. Let's see if somebody has redone it. And he's talking about even rescanning it. So
Huh.
so sometimes if you rescan them at a higher level, it will turn out better. Let's see if I can find another one. I want to really encourage you to use this because I just think it's awesome that somebody can take this old, blurry, bland looking photo.
And those photos
See how
faded.
much better it looks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it looks a lot better. And so I pretty much do all of mine that I can. And even though I do save the old black and white ones, because there are purists out there who don't care too much for these newfangled stuff, and they feel that they want to see people in the original photo. You know, I don't feel that a photo is a permanent thing. I mean, have you taken good photos? Have you taken bad photos? Have you ever seen your high school picture from your, I hate mine. And so uh, if you took it and redid it, think about it, might be something you'd want to say. So anyway, this is a site, the photo restoration free service, but there are several. This is not the only one. So there are several online that you can on Facebook that you can send your photo to, just upload it, and they'll take it in and redo it. And I did see look what they did there. Did they take out some people? No, they just took out the background.
Background looks better. Yeah.
It does. It looks a lot better. And I've done that too, especially if you're going to, let's say you want to put a picture of somebody on Family Search and they've got their faces right next to somebody else and you don't want that other person. Well, you can ask this group or a similar group just to remove that extra person. And then it goes, you can put it on Family Search if you wanted to. And I like that.
Have
And
you
so
seen
just-
these program? I don't know what kind of program these people are using, but they take pictures of historical people and they colorize them, they clean them up, and then they actually will smile and their eyes will move.
Oh, that's My Heritage, isn't it?
Yes, My
My
Heritage will do
Heritage will
that.
do that. Yeah.
My
But these-
Heritage will create a video for you of
Yeah.
that person. It's not extensive. It's not like they're running around the room, but
Yeah.
their faces shift and their eyes look up and down and they smile. So it's really a lot of fun to do that. Let's see. Would you like for me to go to My Heritage and show you how to do this?
Yes.
Okay, there's a photo that I uploaded just a few days ago. And you can see it's before and after. So before you can see it's a little grainy and it's not really very good. But here's after, and I
Wow.
think it looks really great. Now let's
Yeah, a lot
see.
better.
No Family Search, and I tried to use.
There we go. Animate photos. Let's see what it will do. There we go.
They want you to buy it.
Now look at that.
Wow.
So that's amazing, isn't it? It took
Yeah.
this photo of this girl from this picture and it's animating it. She's moving her head around. She's rolling her eyes. She's smiling. Isn't that fun?
That is amazing.
I did that to one of my husband's pictures when he was about 8 years old, and I showed him the animation, and he went, "Oh man, that's creepy."
Harry
So,
Potter.
Well, it can be kind of creepy, especially if you have a really old photo of somebody
Yeah.
who's been gone for a long time,
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of fun, I think, to see these. Now, this is My Heritage. And if you are a member of the church and you have gone to the partner site on Family Search, then you would be able to do that. All right. So another thing is I wanted to show you, we were talking, Shirley and I were talking about text conversion. Do you ever come along on the internet and find maybe some text from a book or an obituary that's a picture of a picture of the book or the obituary, and you would rather have that in a text form? Do you ever have something like that come across that? Anybody?
No.
No. Well, I do it all the time. I probably do it many times a week. I'll find an obituary, a picture of an obituary from a newspaper, and I would prefer to have it in text form because then I can manipulate it gently. You know, I can change the line spacing, I can change the font, I can put it someplace that it only requires text, and it's really awesome.
So can you do that if I have the obituary, or it has to be on the internet, or can I scan it and put it on? And it will
Yes, you can
convert it?
scan it. You can scan it and put it on. And here it is.
Oh,
Image to
wow.
text. Do you see that? Can you
Yes.
see that? Image
Yes.
to text converter. And there's the address. It's www.onlineocr.net. OCR stands for Ocular Character Recognition. So the program will take a file that you have put in and it will convert it.
Wow.
Let's see, I don't know if I have one in there. Well, the nice thing about this is I use find a grave very often. And sometimes on Find a Grave, somebody has taken a picture from the newspaper of the obituary. And I don't want to save the picture of the obituary. I want the actual text. And so I'll copy the text, save it on my hard drive as a text, as a JPEG. It's a JPEG. And then you put it in here, upload the file and select file. And maybe I'll just find one. See, there's one that I did. Can you see that?
Yes.
So it's a Brock
Right.
obituary. So I put it in there and I click over here on convert. There it is.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yes.
Well, you know what'd be nice about that is I got so many old photographs or copies of notices like that, and they're hard to read.
They are hard to read.
So
And some
would
of
be-
them you'll have to go through and do spell check on.
Mhm.
Or just look, you'll have to carefully look through them. But I like text files. I don't want JPEGs of something out of a book. I don't want it. I want the actual text. And then that way you can copy and paste various things from it, even a line or two here, or even a place. So like if you're looking at this obituary that I just did, and let's say you want to figure out where is Adair County, you would just highlight it, right click, and search for Google for Adair
Oh, wow.
County. Or anything that you're looking for within this.
Okay, let me make a comment going back just a little bit when you're talking about the photographs and cropping them. I do two things with a lot of my photographs. I like close-ups of people. So when I touch up a photograph, I touch up the original and I keep it, and then I crop it and I'll give it the same name, but maybe add a -01 or -A behind it.
Sure.
So I know it's related to it. But I want the close-up picture, but I also want to keep the one with all the background, because in a lot of photographs, there's history in the background.
I don't disagree with you at all. You know, if you have a picture of your grandma in her living room and you have the big background behind it, and she has her pictures up on the wall and all of her stuff sitting around, you know, you don't want to crop all that out necessarily, because it's reminiscent of being there with grandma in her living room. And so
But
you
you can
want
keep
that
that.
feeling. Yeah, you want to keep that.
But then
That's
you can crop one and make a separate picture.
You surely can, but it's also, you don't necessarily also have to crop it for family search, because when you put it in family search, then you can zoom in on just the photo of that one person so that you can use it for the portraits.
Well, I do that for my photo albums.
Okay, yeah, sure, of course. Of course. So here's an online OCR, and there's many places online. I found this one. This is one I use. I use it all the time. It's really easy, but there's others that you can use also.
I'm going to try this.
Just Google it. It's called onlineocr.net.
Does it have WordPerfect?
Oh, also, so today I called Salt Lake and I asked them, Shirley, you had asked me about how to, if about conversion of something from something else, from French or Portuguese or whatever.
Mhm.
So I called Salt Lake and I asked them, and they said, yes, that if you call the Family History Center up there and ask for somebody, let's just say Portuguese, in the Portuguese department, if you have scanned your document that you need translated, that you can either schedule a time for a consultant to discuss it with you on a Zoom call, or perhaps even right then, and they'll look at your document and translate it for you. So
Wow.
I thought that was very helpful.
There are programs out there too that when my grandson went to South Korea on his mission,
Mhm.
I would go out and type him something in English and it would convert it to South Korean or to Korean.
Oh,
And that way I
excellent.
made him think I knew how to speak Korean. But it was free. I don't remember what it was called, but I went out and did it on the internet.
Well, yes, and you can do that, but that's taking English and converting it to another language. So what if you have a document that's in another language and it's handwritten? You're probably not going to find a program online who will take a handwritten document and convert it to English. Now,
Yeah.
there might be some, but if you were able to scan it and call Salt Lake, they would convert it for you. They would translate it for you. So if you ever run into that, just keep that in mind.
Nice.
But you just go to the genealogy department, family
Well,
history department.
you call Family Search, the Family Search Library. All family history libraries from the church are now called Family Search libraries.
I know,
And
I just still old.
okay, so if you have a document ever that's in a foreign language, just be sure you scan it and then talk to somebody up there and they'll hopefully convert it for you. How many of you are subscribed to a newsletter, a genealogy newsletter?
Nope.
No one? All right,
Nope.
I really
produced one.
recommend that you find a newsletter that you like. There's 3 of them that I know of. There's 2 of mine I subscribe to, and there's a third one that I know of that's really good. One is Eastman's online genealogy newsletter. And if you subscribe to that, they'll send it to your inbox once a week or once every. You can sign up for daily notifications, or you can sign up for weekly ones. And I really learn a lot from that. I learn news items or just anything that might pertain to genealogy. He will discuss it there, and it's very interesting. So you can always find something. Also, the legal genealogist. If you've ever heard of Judy Russell, she's awesome. She talks a lot about all kinds of legal issues that involve genealogy, like copyright issues, various things like that. But you can ask her a lot of other things. She's just great. And then there's another one.
What was the name again?
Oh, the legal genealogist, Judy Russell.
Russell.
Yeah.
And then there's the last one is Ask Myrtle. She's a genealogist. There's a lot more than just these 3. Just Google genealogy newsletter and pick one. And again, if you subscribe to it, it's free. And if you decide you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. So it doesn't cost anything. But I really highly recommend Eastman's online genealogy newsletter. I love that. I like getting those little news clips about DNA and various things. It's really interesting. Also, Facebook groups. You can Google any kind of Facebook group that you want, and you will find incredible amounts of information and help on those things. Let's see if I can pull one up. I'm subscribed to a list called Growing Up in Greensburg. And although I didn't grow up in Greensburg, this is where 4 of my major lines come from. And so I do a lot of work in Greensburg in this area. And so look at this lovely picture that somebody just posted. What if your great-great-grandmother was in that picture? Wouldn't you be excited? It's a school picture, and they list the people that are in it.
Wow.
How fun would that be to find that? And you know that they're there in that time period. So it could be any one of your relatives that you're looking for in that line. So here's some other people that are just asking questions. And sometimes you'll find somebody who knows the answer to that. There's some people, oops, on this list that are really into sports for that county. I'm not particularly interested in the sports of that county, but you know, if you were and you had some people that played sports for that county, they post pictures there. And look at that, isn't that a cute picture?
Oh,
Oh, how neat.
But there's all kinds of stuff that people post, not just stuff that you might not be interested in, but they also have a lot of memories. Like this person said, do you remember when gas was 60 cents a gallon? Oh,
Yes.
well, I remember when it was 20. So,
Yeah, I do too.
so I hate to age myself. So here's another picture of a guy, and someone has this picture and they're asking, do you know who this is? So, wouldn't it be great if you pulled up a picture like that? And I post to this group also. And sometimes if somebody asks about somebody, I'll know, and I'll post their obituary or some other information about them. Isn't that cool? And there's a reunion picture. So is anybody else interested in a specific county that they do a lot of genealogy in that you might could look up, and let's look up and see if you have a county page?
Well, I'm trying to do, my mother was born and a little bit raised in Allegheny County in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area.
Allegheny, Allegheny. Like that?
Yeah, the first one, Allegheny. ENY.
Like that?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes.
I think I
Didn't find
misspelled it. Is
anything.
that the way that's spelled? Did I
Yeah.
spell it?
uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, let's look.
Oh, genealogy is different though.
Oh, I misspelled genealogy. Okay, well, let's try it again. There we go.
There. Oh,
So
neat.
there's 3 right off the top. Now, do you do any Slovak ancestry?
No,
Yeah.
all German.
German. Well, you know, if you went there and look at these groups, most of these groups are private. Do you see where it says private?
Oh, yes.
So you can feel comfortable. I don't mean you should post everything there, but still these sites are really good for that kind of thing. You won't get a lot of spam out of it,
Oh, that's
and you
neat.
won't get a
Yeah.
lot of hits on it for somebody, you know, selling stuff or other things. And but also you have to remember that anything posted on these groups, if they're private, you can't copy you can't just share. You know, there's a little button on a picture sometime that will say
Mhm.
share.
Mhm.
You can't usually do that on a private group, but you can
Okay,
right
thank you for
click,
telling me that. That's
but you can
helpful.
right click and copy it to your hard drive. And
Okay.
then put it wherever else you want it. Once you have it on your hard drive, you can do anything with it. But those are private groups. And so, you know, Mary, there's no telling what you can find on this
Yeah.
Allegheny County site. And there might even be more groups than that are within this area. Because even that Greene County group I just showed you growing up in Greene County, there's like 3 or 4. One is growing up in Greene County. One is the Greene County Genealogical Society. One is another group with 2 other counties at that area. So this is really a wonderful way of looking. And you can see, you're not going to see a lot just looking like this because I'm not a member. But you
Mhm.
can go there and you can get on there and be a member. See where it says join group?
Uh-huh.
You just click on that. They may ask you some questions like, what surnames are you looking for, or something like that,
That would be
because they
neat.
want to vet who joins their group.
Right, right.
So you can do that. Now, again, it's very easy to unjoin, to get off these groups. So let's say you went to maybe a New York or Washington DC or big cities or something like that, and you were getting tens of notices every day. That might not be very interesting. So you can get off just by clicking the next button, and it'll usually just say how to get off. It didn't
Oh,
say
okay.
that this time, but you can get off very easily. Let's see, was there something else I wanted to
I found a
I know.
website here recently. It's called, I grew up in Florida, and it's photographs. This guy publishes photographs of early Florida from like the late 1800s to the early 19th. He restores the pictures and he colorizes them. And I get posts there almost every day on my Facebook page from him. And I've actually found 4 or 5 photographs that he's put out there of my ancestors. So I don't know
Wow.
where he gets the photographs.
Well, how
Wow.
exciting is that when you are looking at a county that you have been researching your family in, and somebody posts some information about it? Because think about it, there are people all over that have all their genealogy in their drawers or on their
Yes.
hard drives, and they don't share it with anybody or any place. And if you ask, they'll share it with you. And then it becomes public. How exciting is that? Because it's in their drawers or it's in their camera, and you will never see it any other way. Facebook is an awesome way to research some of these people that are just sitting there. They're not even really involved in genealogy necessarily. They just like their county. They like where they come from, and they want to share memories and reminisce about it. And your ancestor might be part of their reminiscence. So it's really a great place to do. So you can look these up on the internet. So that's kind of my presentation for tonight. And I hope you've learned something, and I hope I can help you if I can help you, please let me know.